You come across...
Excuse me, but...
The young man is startled. He must have nodded off. He looks around anxiously. When he sees you, the fear disappears from his face and is replaced by curiosity. It seems to you that the man is sizing you up.
And if I answer, what's in it for me?
If you can't help us, we'd be happy to ask the owner of the farmstead. We'll just tell him that the man sleeping in the shade of the orchard sent us. What do you think?
The man seems to size you up, and then a crooked smile spreads across his face.
All right, you caught me. The people rode northwest. But please don't tell Father Mullen.
There's no reason for that if you told the truth. So, northwest, you say?
You continue on your journey, while the lazy laborer sinks back into the grass. The first thing you notice as you enter the village of Clintal is how quiet it is. There's hardly a soul in the streets, and the few people you do see immediately disappear into their houses as you get closer. Boindil draws his axes, and Boendal his raven's beak.
Something's not quite right here. Be alert.
You walk on until you reach the village square. Without a word, men enter the square from the left and the right, cutting off your way. You recognize the leader of the group of mercenaries, looking you over with a satisfied expression. Standing next to him is a frail man with graying hair, who doesn't seem able to cope with the situation. He tries several times to say something, but can't find the right words. Before you have the chance to say anything, the leader of the men calls loudly so that they can all hear.
That's them! They're the ones who murdered the poor traveling trader Mort.
Murderers? Come here, dwarf killer! Are you denying your terrible deed? You were seen murdering poor old Mort, one of your kind in cold blood.
The old man points unnecessarily to the leader of the mercenaries.
We found Mort's wagon on the side of the road a few days ago. He had been decapitated and his head was gone.
You wait a moment for your words to take full effect.
There were prints in the mud made by humans and horses.
We were there, but only after you murdered the trader.
If it hadn't been so inappropriate, you would smirk. The human has fallen into your trap.
So you were there after us, but still managed to watch us do it. Then you overtook us and only confront us now and here, several days' journey from the place where it happened. Your story doesn't seem to make much sense.
We know what we saw, and you won't talk your way out of it, dwarf.
The leader of the mercenaries draws his sword. Some of the villagers seem to doubt the mercenaries' words, but others stand by his side, and events take their course.
Watch out for the archers. Concentrate on the mercenaries and try not to kill the villagers. Yes?
Way to go! Ending the fight forever! And what now? Huh?
Huh?
Yeah! And what now? What is it?
Huh?
Huh? With pleasure.
Yes?
What is it? What is it?
Huh?
And what now? Yes?
Huh?
Huh? What is it?
Yes?
Yeah! What is it? Huh? Say goodbye forever.
Huh? End it!
Yeah!
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight. They're hitting me pretty hard. I need help over here, quickly.
As good as us!
All right, yes!
As good as us!
On my way!
As good as done!
Tired, you!
They're hitting me pretty hard.
Huh? What is it?
Huh?
And what now? Ha-ha! Huzzah! Yes?
Yes?
What is it? Huh? Yeah! Who's next?
Huh?
Huh? What is it? Huh?
On my way.
Yes!
As good as us!
Bad luck for you!
Huh?
What is it? Yes? Say goodbye forever. Oh! Hey! Oh, what bad luck for you!
Yes?
And what now? Huzzah! What is it? Say goodbye forever. Ow! Another one bites the dust. Yeah! Huh? Huh? Yes? Tired, you! Bad luck for you, creature! All right. Yes! On my way! And what now? Huh? All right. Yes! I just need a little... What is it? On my way! All right. On my way! As good as done! On my way! As good as done! All right. As good as done! Say goodbye forever! Too easy!
As the last of the mercenaries falls to the ground, the villagers stop attacking you and retreat. You and Boandal have to physically restrain Boindil until he comes to his senses. Otherwise, he would have followed them into their houses. You walk up to the body of the mercenaries' leader and search his pockets. You soon find something. A letter.
An anonymous client seeks dwarf skulls cleanly cut, shorn, and put into jars with honey. 1,000 gold coins will be paid for each skull. Khan, Bounty Hunters Guild Master.
That's bounty hunters hunting for dwarves. Despicable.
You hold the letter aloft so that everyone can see it.
Look, citizens of Clintel, proof that these men are the killers. They are bounty hunters hunting for dwarves.
The village elder comes out of one of the houses, flanked by other villagers. You ignore their weapons, as well as their sinister expressions, and hand over the letter.
It would seem you are telling the truth. We have been deceived and raised our weapons against the innocent.
The man's face is full of grief and pain.
And we have been made to pay. You have killed men who were close to us. Go now. We must bury them.
You manage to revenge Mort's death, but it doesn't feel like a victory. Too much blood has been spilt. The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive as the sun sets behind the tower of a Palandial temple, lighting up its stained glass. There's a shop in the village, and through the window, as well as some everyday objects and food, you also spy a shelf full of books. A small bell rings as you enter the shop. The twins look around, but seem rather disinterested, until they discover a couple of gemstones on display. On the wall to your left is the bookshelf you saw through the window. It's quite unusual for a village shop to sell books. You stroll towards the bookshelf and read some of the titles written on the spines of the books. You know many of the works from Lot Yeoman's library.
Oh, by fracas, look, dear brother! The scholar really is looking at books!
It's an interesting selection, Boindle. I could make some recommendations for you.
Boindle throws his arm around your shoulder and pulls you slowly away from the bookshelf.
What if someone sees you? Here, this is more our kind of thing.
You follow him reluctantly and are shown the selection of gemstones. Boindle is walking next to you in silence. Now and then, he looks at you from the side.
And you really do like books?
Yeah, I'm curious. And you can find many answers in books.
Won't you have found all the answers at some point?
Quite the contrary. The more books you read, the more questions you ask.
Ah, I knew it. Oh, just a waste of time.
The closer you get to Parista, the livelier the streets become. Many of the large buildings in the city are even taller than the high city wall. But one building towers above them all, the palace. Its dome gleams white in the sun. It is the seat of the Council of Magi, and its central tower, which juts high into the sky, serves as a waypoint for travelers as far as 50 miles away. You reach the council's palace, but are stopped in front of its gates by a guard.
The Council of Magi is convened to take care of the perished land. They mustn't be disturbed.
The perished land? You mean the barrier? Is there something wrong with it?
The guard shrugs his shoulders.
Won't be anything the council can't sort out.
The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive. There's a shop in the village. You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
By Vracus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Goren.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes.
Hoofprints! Burned into the ground!
Alfar?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid piggies. Did you hear that, brother? We might get to test our blades on Tion's pointy ears.
The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little detail is painstakingly and precisely reflected. Trees, the remains of buildings, bodies. You hesitate.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin, and the red paint seems more than suspicious now.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now. But here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust. Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves lived together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away. You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression. The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while a sea of flames must have raged in a circle around him. The robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic, makes you quite sure that this is Goren.
Goren had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books. The circumstances seem grave enough for you to break the seal.
Greetings, Tugger. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so, at least. Yours faithfully, Goren. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Vracus only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us.
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Lueth Buanre.
What's happening?
That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back.
Yes?
Huzzah! Fire, you! Bad luck for you! Huh? And what now? Huh? What is it? Huzzah!
Huh?
Yes? On my way! And what now? Ha-ha!
End it!
Huh? What is it?
Yes?
Yes? And what now? I didn't hit you very hard. Come here, you. What is it? What is it? Huh? Say goodbye forever.
I need help over here! Quickly!
Huh?
Huh? Others will take my place. Yes? For
What is it? What is it? And what now? Oh, what bad luck for you!
Huh?
Yeah!
Yes?
Yes? What is it? Come here, you go easy!
Huh?
Yeah!
End it!
What is it? And what
Yes?
now? Huh?
I can't do that
Yes.
yet.
Huh? He hardly put up a fight. Yeah, he didn't hit you very hard.
Braccus!
Yeah.
On my way. Attack!
Huh?
And again.
All right. Say goodbye. Yes, yes,
Yes. At once.
What is it? Wild creature. Oh, what bad luck for you! What is it?
Huh?
Yes? I'll be ready soon!
And again.
And what now?
Huh? Please wait a moment.
Huh?
As good as done. Huh?
Who's next? Yes? And what now? Huh?
Vile creature.
What is it? Easy!
Yes? End it. Understood.
Yes? On my way! Who's next? With pleasure. Huh? Yes, yes!
Huh?
Easy! Who's next?
As good as done.
What is it? I didn't hit you very hard! Put up a fist! And what now? Bites the dust! He hardly put up a fight! I'm with you!
And again.
Too easy! Who's
Vile
next?
creature.
Yes, yes!
And again.
Dwarves, you protected the glade.
The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn Magi only had one job!
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my home, and my forest. Everything has been taken from me. I beg you, have mercy and put an end to my suffering.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression. The dignity that she must once have radiated can only be imagined in her current state.
Garen was here, and I've heard that you elves have special abilities in battle. Did the Alpha take you by surprise in your sleep?
I felt her presence, but when I confronted the elf, she had already killed the first of us and resurrected the perished land. It fills humans and dwarves with a hatred for life. It turns you into beasts. They charge through the village like a fury, and everyone that they killed became one of theirs.
If the perished land spreads further south, then Nodon won't need any orcs, ogres, or Alfar. One human losing their life in the perished land would be enough for the madness to sweep through the land like the plague.
Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power, and yours.
We need the Magi. They must rebuild the barrier. We must go to Lot Yonan before the perished land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who could tell? Anything could go wrong with all that hocus-pocus.
It has held back the perished land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the great Magi. I can't imagine how Nodon or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the outer lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it. Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked at Garen's books and tried to prize out the knowledge that they hold. But now, you must admit to yourself that you can't decipher them. They are written in the learned language for High Magi, and Lot Yonan didn't teach you that. However, you're sure that the books are important. Why else would Garen want them sent to Turga the Fair-Faced? You put them away with a sigh, and your eyes remain on the bag that Lot Yonan gave you. Did Garen ask Lot Yonan to return the magical artifacts in the pouch? You pick up the pouch and look at it.
Lot Yonan forbade me from opening the pouch.
The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive as the sun sets behind the tower of a Palandial temple, lighting up its stained glass. There's a shop in the village, and through the window, as well as some everyday objects and food, you also spy a shelf full of books. A small bell rings as you enter the shop. The twins look around, but seem rather disinterested, until they discover a couple of gemstones on display. On the wall to your left is the bookshelf you saw through the window. It's quite unusual for a village shop to sell. Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf maiden nailed to the tree in Greenglade. You wake from your sleep and look around you. The night is unusually dark. Despite your good dwarven eyes, you can only make out Boendal's outline, even though he's keeping watch only a few steps away. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel something cold against your throat. Next to you, the pale face of an elf slides into view.
Good evening. I'm afraid we missed each other in Greenglade, so my companion had to receive you on her own.
You consider your options, but before you have reached a decision, the dagger is pressed more tightly against your throat, and you feel a second blade at your back.
Quiet now. I'm not going to kill you, not yet. Do you know what I'm going to do instead?
You feverishly search for an answer, but you can't even imagine how an Alfar thinks.
I will kill everyone who means anything to you. I will destroy your life, and you will sink into hopelessness, groundling. Your downfall is called Synthoras.
You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look around, astonished. The elf is nowhere to be seen. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Next to you, Boindil smacks his lips in his sleep. You touch your throat, and when you don't feel anything, you breathe out, relieved.
Just a nightmare.
At least that's what you tell yourself. But you don't close your eyes for the rest of the night. You reach Parista and go straight to the seat of the Council of Magi. A worried and grim-looking guard bars your way.
Sorry, we are not to let anyone into the palace.
The guard looks around. The report... Boindil unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought.
So we meet again, dear dwarf. Tungdil, wasn't it? Interested in buying something?
You say goodbye to the traders. On the way back to you
Why are the Magus' vaults here in the middle of nowhere? And why does the Lord of Yonendar live in a vault and not in a castle?
It's to do with the magical fields that spread out under Girdlegard, so the 5 magical realms are found where the fields are at their strongest.
And that's why he lives in the vaults? To be closer to the underground magic?
No, it's more to do with security. 200 students of magic and well, a source of almost unlimited magical energy. The Magus thought that an underground vault was a more suitable place to train than Master Nudin's tower in the middle of Parista.
When your journey leads you once more to Calmstead, the villagers recognize you from far off and greet you warmly. Once the children notice you, they come running and bombard you with questions about dwarves. You talk to the children and the villagers until it turns dark, and after a short night, you set off again.
I don't like it here. All this hocus-pocus is bad news. Us dwarves know that and keep well away, just as Vracus commanded. I hope you know that too.
I cannot perform magic, and I've never attempted to. Nevertheless, please show respect. Remember that it was Lot Yonan who took me in and saved me.
Now then, it would seem that the tongue of the learned one becomes somewhat haughtier, and his sentences doth wind most strangely as we verily approach the vaults.
You can't help but grin guiltily. With a beseeching glance at the twins, you step into the area in front of the vaults. Seeing no one there you might greet, you and your companions enter your old home through the open gate.
Who the hell built this tunnel?
Bowendahl examines the crumbling roof with a mixture of disbelief and indignation.
Be quiet. I want to surprise them.
Is that such a good idea? What if we give your master such a shock that he casts a spell on us? I don't want to be turned into a mouse or a bar of soap.
It is unusually quiet in the vaults, but the smell of dinner is in the air. You imagine Frala looking up at you from her cooking pot in the kitchen and smiling.
Ah, there's boiled and roasted meat for dinner. Come on.
That's no reason to go and get ourselves turned into something weird. We'll stay here until you're finished with your little game. Only Long'uns will build like this. They've cut through the strata with no concern for the veins. That's obvious, even to a warrior like me.
Ah, the warmth has dried out the strata and made them all crumbly. Even the wooden beams won't hold the roof up for much longer.
Tungdil, have you found your magus yet?
No, not yet. I'll keep looking.
Your workshop seems smaller than you remember it. You are also sure that it smells different than when you set off months ago.
A couple of weeks ago, this anvil was my whole world. Now my world's a whole lot bigger.
Ikana isn't in her cradle. Where could Frala have taken her? Lumps of meat rise up and appear on the brown, bubbling surface of the soup before sinking back down out of sight. The hearty smell.
A human foot?
Your stomach turns, and you have to fight hard against the impulse to run out of the kitchen screaming.
What happened here? Speak!
Ah, another one.
Don't even think of using magic, or I'll lodge this pretty piece of steel in your brain.
It takes the Famulus a few seconds to comprehend the situation he suddenly found himself in. He seems to weigh up his options for a moment before he breathes out and the tension leaves his body.
All right, I won't use magic.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
For a while, the Famulus seems to be playing with the idea of being stubborn. Bowendahl pushes a little harder on the end of the crow's beak, and the tip penetrates the skin. Blood seeps out.
Ow! They're gone. Dead.
A school full of magi destroyed without any signs of struggle? Lies.
The facts seem stacked against it, but you cling on to this faint hope.
Lot Yonan's Famuli were already in Parista. There were only novices left. We made easy work of them. The Elfar, Syntharas, he insisted on being part of the raid after he found out that you grew up here. He opened the gates and killed most of those here before they even knew what was happening.
In your mind's eye, you see a pale face appearing from the darkness. You saw what Elfar are capable of in Greenglade. You push the thought to the back of your mind and try to keep a clear head.
Lot Yonan, where is he?
Nodon killed him. He killed all of them in Parista. There's no one left in Girdlegard who can take on the last Magus.
You're saying that someone took on all 6 of the Magi at once and defeated them? Ridiculous.
5 Magi. My master Nudin is Nodon the Doublefold, the Lord of the Perished Land and soon-to-be Lord of Girdlegard. He killed the masters, and the apprentices followed soon after. They're all gone, and he changed the magic field so that only we can use them.
An icy hand grabs your heart. It's impossible that there's only a single Magus left, and he's not fighting against, but for the Perished Land.
Why are you snooping around in Lot Yonan's study? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for artifacts that Lot Yonan, when he was in Parista, claimed he had forgotten and left in a cupboard. And for the books that were stolen from Greenglade. I'm guessing you're the dwarves that stole the books.
What does your master want with the artifacts and the books?
I don't know. He commands, we obey. He's going to be very displeased. I did find a bag in the cupboard, but it didn't contain the right objects.
I've had enough of your lies. They're alive. Lot Yonan escaped and has gathered his apprentices, Frala, and the others around him to fight against Nodon. We just have to find them.
The war was over before you even noticed it had begun. Nodon cannot be stopped. He is on his way here and will just...
Blah, blah. We will leave immediately. This news is of great importance to the Council of Dwarves.
I'm not going anywhere. I have to find my friends and
Orcs! Lots of them!
Yes?
All right, go!
As good as done. What is it?
Who's next?
Another one bites the dust. Huh?
What is it?
Huh? Understood.
Attack! What is it?
Huh? He hardly put up a fight.
The pillars! We could knock some of them down and bury those runts! Pow! Another one bites the dust!
Yes?
Yes?
And what now?
Come here, you! What is it?
What is it?
Yes?
Huh?
And what now? boldly put up a fight. And what now?
On my way.
End it. Ha ha! I didn't hit you very hard. What is it? Yes? Put up a fight! Yeah! Huh? And what now? Who's next? Yes? Huh? Say goodbye, Red. What is it?
At once. Understood. On my way.
Huh? And what now?
Yes? For practice!
I have bow and dart. Give me a hand.
At once.
What is it?
There are too many of them! The side door in the workshop. It's our only chance.
Huh?
As good as done.
Too easy. Put up a fight. What is it? On my way! I didn't hit you very hard! What now? Easy! Of course!
Yes? On my way.
Pow!
Understood.
Another one bites the dust. Yes? On my way! As good as done! All right! With pleasure! I didn't hit you very hard! Oh, what bad luck for you! On my way! Say goodbye forever. Too easy. With pleasure. I didn't hit you very hard. Pow! Another one bites the dust. As good as done. With pleasure. Too easy! On my way! Oh, what bad luck for you! Say goodbye forever! With pleasure! All right! On my way! Say goodbye forever! With pleasure! As good as done. All right. As good as done. Don't rush me. All right. As good as done. On my way. All right.
Damn.
The first 20 are mine!
You have come far, but this is far enough. Give me the artifacts and the books you stole in Greenglade, and I'll set you free.
What's with the artifacts and the books?
They belong to me. Lord Yonan was supposed to bring them to Porista, but forgot them. So, I came to pick them up. That's all you need to know.
What have you done to the other Magi? Your famulus told us some cock and bull story about you forcing them and their famuli to go to Porista and then murdering them.
I did what had to be done to protect Girdlegard. I wish there had been another way. But they would never have understood.
Do your eyes deceive you, or do you really see a brief moment of real regret on the swollen face of the Magus?
You wanting my rucksack is enough reason for me not to give it to you.
I don't need your consent. Look after the rucksack. If you lose it, you will also lose your life. Go back to your realm, dwarves, and let your king know that I need his land. Either he hands it over without a drop of blood being spilt, or my troops and allies take it by force. You can take this one with you. I have no use for him.
Invisible wizard, Maya!
Look!
Let me handle her. Kill the dwarves,